And let's say thank you, Glow, for coming too. We appreciate your being here. Yes, one more thing.
I'd like to point out that Mike Young came all the way from New Mexico for this.
Thank you, Karen. Dr. Marjorie Wolfe is the recipient of the 2012 Outstanding Alumni in Education Award. She received an educational specialist degree in 1982 and a doctorate in vocational education in 1993. Marjorie is the founder of the Single Parent Scholarship Fund of Benton County and co-founder of the statewide Arkansas Single Parent Scholarship Fund. These organizations, and this is an incredible figure I'm about to tell you, these organizations have awarded nearly 30,000 scholarships worth over $16 million to single mothers and fathers who have sought to better their lives. Currently, Marjorie serves as chair of Aspire, a national program designed to replicate the successful Arkansas program that she started. Dr. Wolfe was honored in 2007 by President Bush when she was one of 20 recipients to receive the President's Community Volunteer Award in Washington, D.C. Marjorie, I want to thank you for all the work that you've done, and your legacy will live on for many, many, many years. Before Marjorie speaks, University of Arkansas Board of Trustees member Jim Von Gremp would like to say a few words regarding Dr. Wolfe's tireless efforts. Jim?
It's a real pleasure to be here today to help honor Marjorie. Marjorie started blessing my life in the early 90s. We met in the old office of Human Concern in the wrong side, Leroy, of the Tracks and Rogers small building. We had one part-time assistant, and that was really had grown a long way to get to there. But Marjorie's efforts inspired many, many volunteers, hundreds of volunteers. She built an organization, not from top down, but from bottom up, using private donations, private dollars, teachers, educators, psychologists, mentors, counselors, retail people that would donate clothing, and a staff, built a staff that just, it's a good thing, Marjorie, that they are all really outstanding people, because not a one of them will ever leave. And they just believe in it so much. But what Marjorie's been able to do is change the lives in one generation of multiple generations. She's been able, with the collective efforts of a lot of people, go in and help people that are really beat down in society. They're financially disadvantaged. They just generally don't have a lot going, because they're, in a lot of cases, there's been abuse and things like that in a marriage. In other cases, they are the ones that did not get an education, if an education was achieved in a marriage, but stayed home, took care of children. The job opportunities, once they are on their own with the responsibility of children, are very limited as far as wage rates. And she's been able, with her concept, to take and help these people get a college education, either a 2- or 4-year degree, and then provide a living for their children. But more importantly, the families study together. The children study because the mother studies. The children see the mother work to achieve. And in one generation, you develop a second set of college graduates. People that want to go to college, people that will achieve, get scholarships, probably because of their income levels, and be able to get a degree. And that is the reason she's trying to take it national, because it is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. One last thing to kind of give you a little glimpse is that every year we have a dinner. We have a dinner. There's about 26 and 800 people there. It's kind of it's the fundraising dinner. And we used to have, we've had Bill Clinton, we've had Hillary Clinton, we've had John Bozeman, we've had multiple senators, representatives, lots of leaders of government in other areas, the governors, Huckabee, Beebe, we've had. But a few years ago, we quit having all these speakers, and we just started having a couple of the students speak. And if you're having trouble letting your emotions out, I hope the third week in August you'll come up to Bentonville and listen to these mothers, these students speak. It will touch you, and you will understand truly the reason why Marjorie's here today. Thank you.
Dean Smith, I was so honored when I received the award. I want to tell you something. When I finished my doctorate, I almost felt as if I were a failure, because the first thing you're supposed to do is publish, and I was so busy working with a single parent scholarship I didn't, and I've always felt guilty. So this award is really meaningful. But when Erin she wrote to me, and we talked on the phone and we emailed, and I said, but really what I want is to bring some of the people who help with the program, because it is a single parent scholarship program that is the honoree, I feel. Coming back to the university, I always come back to the university when change is in the works. And when we returned from Maryland in 1977, I always say that I really feel God has a path for you, but it's whether you will find that path or not. When we returned to Arkansas, I was not sure it was God's will. I knew it was my husband's, but I wasn't sure it was God's will. But after all that has happened, I know it was, that I was able to follow the path. Because would such a program have grown anyplace else? I don't know. Northwest Arkansas is an amazing place with amazing people who really care. Jim Von Gremp is here because he attended a benefit one time and came up and said, Marjorie, if there's ever anything I can do, well, within 2 months I was at Jim's door. Jim, I need someone to help raise money. And this is what happened, is when I came back to the university and took some classes. I was going to take 2 or 3. I ended up with 2 degrees. In between, my 2 daughters had to get their degrees. But the first one, I was doing a research grant, and we started the Displaced Homemaker program. And I became a vocational counselor. And I started working with people, mostly women, who needed to get jobs and go back to school. And there was one group I couldn't help. And they haunted me. I can remember a mother with straight hair wearing coveralls saying she had 4 children under 6. She used to type 70 words a minute, but this was at a print shop. She had never touched a computer. She didn't want her children to be on welfare. And she had read the statistics, and I had read the statistics, and we knew what happens to single parents. And so I was haunted by these people, and then this strange little man, Ralph Nesson, came over, and he said that he had done a study and there was a need for scholarships, and the director was tired of my asking for scholarships, each one free. And so he sent Ralph over to talk to me. And as we talked, I said, but Ralph, it's the single parents. And he just kind of stopped and he listened. And then he said, well, can I come back and see you? And I said, yes. And so, because I had the thought that, you know, one person is kind of like when you go to the Christmas Eve service and you see the single candle and it's just kind of far out there and it's just kind of halfway. Maybe it's a light, maybe it isn't. Well, the vision by itself isn't able to do anything. But you need all these candles and you need all this help to do something. And so Ralph came back and said, would you be willing to work with me and try to develop something like this? And I said, yes. Of course, that meant at that point there were no bylaws, there were no applications, there were no anything. And so we simply went to the community and started asking to people to come in and be on our boards and to help. And then we started asking for money in the churches and United Ways and everybody else. And we talked to everybody and we did everything. And so Benton and Washington County grew faster than we thought. They were still small, but they grew. And so by 1990, Ralph said, you know, why don't we do this in the other counties? And so in Arkansas, we didn't know it hadn't, it hadn't been done, so why not? And so now it's in all the different counties. You heard the statistics of how wonderful it is. And Arkansas has this program that is very proven. And so then Pete Metzger and Christine Zenai had listened to a lot of us saying, we ought to take this to other states. But that's all we said was, we ought to take this to other states. And so suddenly Pete and Christine decided to write a grant to the Walton family and see if we couldn't take it to other states. And then they came to some of us who had been in the beginnings and said, well, won't you come and work with us for just a little while? And I thought, oh, well, I know what it's like to start a program, poor. and how to develop a program from the beginning. So I'll go on for a couple of years. Now I'm president, and that I didn't intend to be. But we do have Aspire affiliates in Oklahoma, Missouri, Mississippi, Georgia, and California already. And so we are replicating what we started in Arkansas. And it all basically started here at the university with a research grant, seeing people, seeing a need, and then going out and asking. And of course it didn't hurt that in Northwest Arkansas we had Helen Walton and Bernice Jones and a few people like that who caught the vision and who really helped inspire. So I just want to say thank you. I just wanted a lot of you who really are doing the hard work, and we have some of our originals with us today, and Marcia and Doris, and I know the Watsons had planned to be here, and I don't see them.
She's here.
Is here? Good. Okay, wonder there she is. She was on one of the original boards in 1984 when we started, and actually Sharon's daughter is now on the Aspire board. So we're excited about that. So this is fantastic. So basically, I just want to say that this is exciting. I appreciate the award, but I feel the award goes to everybody who has made this program possible. And we have so many of the current workers who are doing it, and the volunteers, and the president of the Benton County program had to lose a number of his, he went to another job, and he said, I can't do everything, so I'm going to have to drop some of my commitments. He said, but we're changing lives with single parent, and I'm going to stay with that program. And this is basically what's happening. It's changing generations, as Jim said. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Marjorie. Ralph Nesson with the Single Parent Scholarship Fund has asked to take this opportunity to say thank you and present you with a small token of appreciation. Ralph?
I'm going to add strange little man to my resume. See how far it gets me. You know, they used to have a saying that behind every successful man is a wise woman. Well, forget about that. Behind every wise woman are many other people who will follow her lead. And Marjorie, we followed your lead. You were wise in knowing exactly what the needs were and how to meet them. And today, hundreds and hundreds of volunteers throughout our state, and thousands of single moms and single dads are grateful to you for having the vision and the awareness that this needed to be done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ralph. We're so very proud of all of our alumni who are leading efforts throughout the country and throughout this state in so many different ways. Josh, Kieran, Marjorie are excellent representatives. For each of these, we have hundreds and hundreds more, but these three individuals have risen to the top. On behalf of the College of Education and Health Professions, I'd like to present each of you a very small token, an Arkansas cutting board. And we hope that you will use this. If you don't cook, well then let your husband cook or let your wife cook. But it's just a small token, and it's something that we want you to have so that you will hopefully remember us. I also want everyone to sign the coffee table books. They're over here on this side. Write a little note to each of these wonderful folks. The book is called Etched in Stone, and it includes over 180 photographs of the University of Arkansas campus and surrounding area. And the foreword was written by Chancellor Dave Gerhardt. We hope that these books and these memories that we will have from this weekend will be something that you will cherish for the rest of your lives. Once again, thank you all for all your work. I want to thank all of you for coming. Tomorrow, we're going to have a wonderful ceremony when we go to commencement for the College of Education and Health Professions. We're going to have more than 400 young students walk across the stage and receive their diploma, and then they will hopefully be Alumni of the Year in the future. And we're going to give special recognition to our 3 Alumni of the Year at that ceremony. So thank you all for coming. We want to truly thank all of the alumni, and please stay and enjoy yourselves for the next hour or so. Thank you.